Press Review. In this simple podcast press review, I'm going to be sharing with you practically everything you need to know about this podcast plugin. As for you to know whether this is actually a tool that you can actually use or whether it's just another plugin that you need to run away from, I get to know in this simple podcast press review. I'll be showing you absolutely everything you need to know about simple podcast press. So as to know whether it's something that is worth it or not. So let's go in this simple podcast press review. I'm talking about what simple podcast press is all about. That is what they stand for, what they've got in stock for you, and what you are likely to benefit from using simple podcast press. You also get to see what they've got in stock for you. Most importantly, what you can actually benefit from using simple podcast press. You also get to see who can use simple podcast press, all in this simple podcast press review. You also get to see the pros and the cons of using simple podcast press. You get to see the interesting side of this tool and as well as the bad side, because for everything that has a good side, if you observe very carefully, you're definitely going to find the bad side as well, which I'm going to share with you in the course of this simple podcast press review. That will also lead us to another very, very important part where I'm talking about the pricing plans and their peculiarities to each of their pricing plans and their significance to each of them, which I'll be talking about. So it's very, very important for you to ensure that you keep to the end of this simple podcast press review, so you won't miss the most important information that you need to have about simple podcast press. And you also get to see what other active existing users of simple podcast press, what they are currently saying about this tool. It does not necessarily have to be what I say alone. You have the opportunity to hear from other active users and hear from their own view as to what they feel about simple podcast press. And to the final part, which is the most important part of this simple podcast press review, this is what I'm going to share with you what I personally feel about simple podcast press. I get to see whether this is actually a tool that is worth spending your money on, or whether it's just another one that you need to run away from, all based on my personal experience using simple podcast press. So it's very, very important for you to ensure that you keep to the end of this video, so you miss the most important information you need to have about simple podcast press in this simple podcast press review. So let's go. So what is simple podcast press? Simple podcast press is actually a WordPress plugin that allows you to automate and also to increase the engagement of your podcast content across different across your audience. So it's actually a podcast tool that allows you to automate your podcast workflow. It allows you to increase the engagement of your podcast. It allows you to get more engagement and increase and maximize the engagement of your work of your podcast right on simple podcast press. You can see what we have on their own page. They said make a bigger impact with your podcast, get the podcast player designed to grow your audience, boost your downloads, get more subscribers, build your email list faster, and increase listener engagement. I think the major goal of any podcaster is to reach out to the maximum people, is to reach as many people as possible, so as to get the best impact for me so our content. So this is a kind of tool that allows you to ensure maximum publicity of your podcast, of your content, so as to increase the level of impact your content will have on your subscribers or your potential audience. So basically that's it. So anyone at all who runs any kind of podcasting business, if you are a creator who is into podcasting, this kind of tool that can help you amplify your business and get you to another level your podcasting business or your podcasting endeavor. So let's also who can like I said, anyone at all who is into podcasting, who needs to reach out to as many people as possible. This is a kind of tool that can help you ensure maximum conversion on your content. So so what are the interesting side of using simple podcast press? The first thing I have here is the fact that this plugin allows you to easily add every single episode to your website, which allows anyone with any device to click the play button and start listening right away. That is, instead of them going into different platforms like iTunes, all of the podcast platforms available, with simple podcast press, you can easily add every single episode to your website. So automatically once they are on your website, they can easily click the play button and start playing and start listening to your content right away. And interestingly, with a simple podcast review, you can easily add call to action buttons, that is buttons that signify your audience to make certain action, to take certain action. So you can easily add call to action buttons right on your show notes in order to maximize engagement. You can tell them to do so many things. You can instruct them while they click. It's going to be clickable. So in order to maximize your engagement, you can as well do that. So you use it to suit whatever intention you have in mind. And interestingly, with a simple podcast press, you can easily build your subscriber by building your email list right on the platform, right with the plugin. You can easily on your show notes, you can easily create an opt-in form where your audience can subscribe. They can put in their email, so you can use that for subsequent marketing, subsequent reach out, so as just to increase the engagement of your content, and also to increase your followership. And interestingly, with a simple podcast press, this tool will help you automate your workflow instead of you doing so many things and in a traditional way. With simple podcast press, you can easily automate your workflow such that once you upload any content on any podcast platform, it reflects automatically on your website. So it's going to help you automate the workflow. Instead of you to start doing that manually, you can automate your workflow and have more time to yourself. And interestingly, with simple podcast press, this tool also has a clickable timestamps that allows your audience to easily jump to a specific time in the player, so as to keep them engaged longer. Like you want to give them specific like you want them to concentrate on specific areas of your content. You can easily create timestamps which are easily clickable, and it allows your audience to move freely and also decipher your content from your own intention as a set. So interestingly, they've also got great customer support. One thing I keep saying is this: I will never use any tool that does not offer great customer support, because any new tool you are introduced to, there's a tendency that you may have one or two questions, or you may encounter one or two problems in the course of using the tool. And if the customer support is not there to help you out, then in that case it's not worth it. As in the case of simple podcast press, they've got great customer support across all their communication channel. They are always willing to help you and help you solve your problem when the need arises. And also with simple podcast press, it's actually compatible with all major podcasting platforms, the likes of PowerPress, SoundCloud, Buzzsprout, iTunes, Blogger. There are so many others, so there is no limitation to this. Is compatible with all major podcasting platforms you can think of out there. Now let's go to the back side. The only thing I can say about this plugin is the fact that it's only a WordPress plugin that is only compatible on WordPress website. That is, you can only use this plugin for WordPress websites only. So it does not give you room to use it for other non WordPress websites. So it's strictly for WordPress website. So let's go. So take note of that. So now let's go to the pricing plan. Yeah, they've got different pricing plans. Simple Podcast Press has got different pricing plans. They've got a single license plan, they've got a professional license plan, and they've got a multi-license plan. But for all their plans, the BRS minimum you can never get started with is the single license plan that goes for $67 for a one-time plan. Well, even though you may need to renew the plan for you to keep getting updates and support, but the BRS minimum you can never get started with is the single license plan, which goes for $67 for a one-time payment. And also they've also got professional license plan, and as well as multi-license plan. So each of these plans has different capabilities as to what they can do, as to what they can accommodate, as to their level of strength. So it's important for you to see the one that will be most suitable for you, or the one that will suit you the best, or that will serve your own business purpose the best. That's why it's very, very important for you to click on the link right in this video description down, so you get to see the full pricing for the various packages and the offers and discount that comes with each of their plans. Most importantly, their capabilities. Like I said, this is the BRS minimum for the single license, $67 for a one-time plan, which is renewable for support and updates. Like I said, so it's important for you to see the one that will be most suitable for you, or that will suit you the best, as each of these plans has different capabilities as to what they can handle, as to their strength, as to their power. That's why it's important for you to click on the link right in this video description, so you get to see the full prices for the various packages and the offers and discount that comes with each of them. Most importantly, their capabilities. Now Let's go to what other people are saying. This is Ari. He said, hands down, Simple Podcast Press is the best way to grow your podcast audience and email list with customizable layout. He said, it has quickly become my top recommended resource for podcasters. This is Ari Duran. This is another person. This is Mike. He said, simple to use and very powerful. He said, this plugin is packed full of features to help podcasters to build their audience effectively. I love the international iTunes reviews, and the fact that it integrates well with the main podcast media host makes it a no-brainer for beginner and podcasting pros alike. This is another person said, such a great tool. Now let's go to what I personally feel about Simple Podcast Press. In my own opinion, based on my personal experience with Simple Podcast Press, I'm going to say they've actually got a great tool. It's such a great plugin that is reasonably easy to use, and it's highly efficient for managing and promoting your podcast content. It allows you boost your downloads, get more subscribers, get more engagement, as well as enhancing your listeners' engagement on your content, and as such, it's going to help you get the best out of your effort by exponentially enhancing your content reach and impact. As such, it's going to help you turn your business around. You'll be able to make more money from your business if it is profit based, and if it is impact, if it's strictly for impact, you're able to get that done as well. And also, it's also crowned by amazing customer support. Like I said, I love customer support so much, and interestingly, they've also got a 30-day money back guarantee. Within 30 days of usage, if you think it's not something that you want, you can decide to request for your money back. So there is no risk involved with Simple Podcast Press. So there is no risk involved. You're safe with Simple Podcast Press. I'm going to say again, this tool is actually worth it because they serve the primary function of a meaningful podcast tool out there. So with all I've said, if you think Simple Podcast Press is something you want to give a try, you want to test it out, you want to see how you can get maximum use of it, out, you want to get the best out of your podcast endeavor, you are right in this video description. There's a special link right in this video description. Once you click on that special link, you'll be able to get started with Simple Podcast Press at a very unusual discounted price that you're not going to find elsewhere. That is to enjoy all of what Simple Podcast Press has put in place for you. You're right below in this video description. There's a special link right there. Once you click on that special link, you'll be able to get started with Simple Podcast Press at a very unusual discounted price that you're not going to find elsewhere. On that note, I want to say thanks for watching my Simple Podcast Press review. If you found any value in this video, ensure to like and subscribe to this channel. And if you have any question as regards Simple Podcast Press, you can make use of the comment box below to ask your questions. I'm going to look into it and see if something I can answer. Once again, do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel to keep enjoying similar videos like this on other helpful tools that can take your business to the next level. On that note, I want to say thanks for watching my Simple Podcast Press review. I hope to see your business at the top. Bye for now.